Okay, what is good everyone? So today I'm going to go through a trade breakdown that made me just over $3,000 on a pair that I've never really traded before. So as you guys know, I usually trade Euro USD and GBP USD, but the volume over the last week hasn't really been there. So I thought I'd step on the only pair that I know has volume, which is GBPJPY. Now, before I get going, I sent this entry live into our Discord, just like I do every single entry. So if you guys are looking for a place to share and send analysis, make sure to join that Discord. There is a link in the description to apply. Let's get on call and talk. But yeah, let's get straight into the breakdown. I'll show you exactly how and why I took this entry. Okay, so initially what we were looking at was quite a ranging market, but overall we were kind of moving back upwards. So initially the buyers can see buys, but then I noticed something else. So on the higher time frame, we've actually had this area of support that's been tapped time and time again. Now, what usually happens here, which is actually what happened today, is we had a breakout above this zone and we're just going to continue to the upside into some higher time frame areas. But at the time, we saw a reaction off this area and it was actually the previous day before I took this entry. So let me just zoom in so you can see. So the day before I actually had this entry, we tapped back into this support area and we pushed down and broke these lows. So we actually broke structure to the downside. So what I like to see from areas like this is retracements just to rebalance the price action. So what I've done is I drew my fib leg from the high to the low. And I was simply waiting for Asian range or London to kind of rebalance back into this golden area, which my three areas are the 618, the 07 and the 786. I've got a full video regarding how I set up my fib. So yeah, so what happened initially on the day was we've swept Asian highs, which is step one of the strategy that I trade. So step one of the mechanical strategy is done. So I had an alert set for Asian highs and we swept. And then what I was waiting for was a shift to the downside. Now, obviously here, as you can see by the fractals, we just kept trending upwards. So we were moving up, 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 and we were just breaking structure to the upside into this area, which is the 618. Now, these are areas that I look for reactions. We had an area of accumulation here, so there was a lot of orders resting around here, but I wasn't too worried about this as we were just rebalancing this whole leg. So if I zoom in, I'll be able to show you a bit better. So the last break that we had above, so we had our break of structure here, and this then was our low. So I'll just mark that with the highlighter so you can see. So this was our high and this was our low, and I was waiting for that low to get swept, which in turn, shortly after, we swept to the downside. So we had a market structure shift down, and then all I needed to do was draw my fib from the high of this leg to the new low that was formed, which if you can't see already, marked by the fractal was here. This was our new low. So we were going upwards, and then we kind of changed that trend and shifted down. So I've drawn my fib and then I entered off. I didn't get in on the 618, but I got in off the engulfing. So I entered on the engulfing with a 20 pip stop. And then I had these lows set as my take profit. And we had a really nice initial push to the downside, but at this point, I went break even. So I was break even on this. I completely forgot about the entry. And then during New York Open, I actually got tapped out of my initial entry, but it actually lined me up for a much, much better entry. Let me just remove these fucking horrible dots. So yeah, initial entry got tapped out, but we actually shifted below on the 15 minutes. So this was the swing low here. I know the fractals say it's a bit higher, but just using my initiative, we reacted out of this internal area and pushed up. So this was the 15-minute low that I was focused on. And we actually had a bigger market structure shift to the downside. So what I did from here was I drew my market structure shift leg, which was here. And I entered my second entry, which was the one that came through on the 618. Again, 20 pip stop, which was here, and the exact same low that I had previously. Now, this was an 84 pip move. And to be fair, if I didn't go break even on the first entry, I know I say that break even is bullshit, but at the time I wasn't on the chart. So I just thought I'd eliminate the risk on the table and let it play out. Both of these entries would have come through. Now, I don't usually trade cross sessions, but London didn't really show much volume. All I could see was it was trending in the right direction. And as we reacted off this support area, it was more inclined that we were going to trace to these lows. So yeah, that was the overall entry that I took. So I sent this live into the Discord. Like I said, I sent both of them. So a few of us actually got a break even on this. Some even took profit at just the 1 to 2, which was here. So I could have taken a nice 1 to 2, but I see the volume that GJ actually produces, and I don't know why, but I was aiming for more. So yeah, I got greedy with the first entry, but the second entry came through nicely. So yeah, as for today, we've actually broke out of this support area. So I'm looking at some more higher time frame areas for the next couple of days. So I'm hoping to see maybe a possible reaction of this low, get a little reaction, rebalance this range, and then push higher. Yeah, that's pretty much going to be it for this video. Not too much to go through. This was the entry that I took, but yeah, I hope you guys have a good one. See you in the next one. Peace.